It's race day here at Santipod Raceway in England, and welcome to the FIA European Drag Racing Championship. Now this is the methanol show. We have the funny cars where Michael Kagerad leads Leif Andreasen. If Leif Andreasen beats Michael today, he'll win the championship. And in dragsters, Jarmo Roivas leads England's Dave Wilson. Again, it's mathematically possible for Wilson to take the championship. Let's get straight on with the action in the funny cars.
Welcome to Santipod Raceway. Our cameraman having a grandstand view of the whole venue from the helicopter. You can see how many people are crammed in Santipod for this, the final round of the FIA European Drag Racing Championship. Lots of them have come to see these guys, the top methanol funny car pilots. None more popular than this man, Lex Joen for Holland, and the man who would be champion, Quaker State, Mickey Kagerad. Russ joins me in the commentary position. This is a very important race, Russ.
Mickey Kagerad leads the championship at the moment, but only just in front of Leif Andreasen, who's going to come out later. The fact is that Mickey Kagerad has got to win this race if he thinks he's going to win the championship. So the pressure is definitely on Mickey Kagerad in the green car.
Well, Michael didn't qualify as well as he might have done. Only the number 4 qualifier, Lex Joen, qualified in at number 5. So this potentially the closest race of this round. Well, Lex Joen knows he's got to make a move on Michael Kagerad. Very well, but not quite a move as that. Lex Joen away, a very obvious red light indeed. And Michael Kagerad gratefully cruises down with the Camaro following Lex Joen and takes the win into the quarter-final.
I bet Michael was absolutely worried, if I can put it that way, at that point, Graham. If he saw Joen taking off like that, he could have seen his championship going up in smoke.
Well, of course, he wouldn't be aware of the red light until that win light came on in his lane. Well, here are a pair of contenders. New man to me. This is Uwe Gudnason, and he's racing the Viking, Leif Helander. Helander never gives anything away. This unique Saab body funny car has been one of the quickest runners in Europe all year. He's the second man into stage on the green line. Well, Gudnason got the shot on Helander. Helander runs all the way up the wall but takes the win. That was a close one, Russ.
It's very close, and it's also quite significant because Helander has gone through, and Helander certainly has the ability to beat Leif Andreasen or Mickey Kagerad if he meets them later on in the semis.
Well, of course, 5-second form here at the European finals for Helander. People are going to be worried about him big time. Coming up the same side of the ladder are this pairing, the reigning top methanol funny car champion, Leif Andreasen, and he's racing a relative unknown in Ulf Leanders with the Mustang.
Well, as Michael Kagerad has gone through, Leif Andreasen must go through if he's going to keep the series alive. I'd like him to go through because it's going to be nail-biting as we progress to the semis, but Andreasen will meet Helander. He won't be keen on that.
Well, as Russ was saying, the pressure really on Andreasen here has to go round Leanders and then the prospect of Helander. Well, we'll see what happens. This is going to be quite a race. I wonder how much the pressure's going to get to Leanders. Both cars in free stage. Well, here we go. Leanders moves into stage. Andreasen follows him at the green. Well, Leanders goes nowhere. Andreasen must breathe a big sigh of relief and takes that win. Well, you can see in slow motion, Andreasen, the second man to stage. The tree runs down. He leaves the start line. But there's no sign of Leanders at all. In fact, Leanders, you can see, had moved but then stopped. So, quicker reaction time, a 6.13 second run. Andreasen through to the semi-finals. Our next pairing. Well, this is Urs Embacher with the Hawaiian car and number 1 qualifier with the Pontiac Firebird. Urs Embacher, this an all-Switzerland matchup. And you can see the kind of form that Embacher's on with the green car here this weekend. Mercilessly thrashes Embacher. Well, this sets up our semi-finals. Urs Embacher and Michael Kagerad, Leif Helander and Leif Andreasen. Well, just like in Top Methanol Funny Car, the Top Methanol Dragsters, the championship not decided yet. Dark Horse and number 1 qualifier, Eero Kilpalainen, burns out with the Gold car. Racing number 8 qualifier here this weekend, Kari Eskelinen. Well, this is going to make some changes to the championship, Russ.
Well, both of these drivers are further down the leaderboard. They don't really have much chance of coming on the podium, but I would say that Eero Kilpalainen on past form could take this win.
Well, indeed, number 1 qualifier with a new European record of 5.708 for him really has become the surprise of the championship. Both cars in pre-stage, into full stage, Kilpalainen the last man in, and Kari Eskelinen out ahead at half track, but look at the power the Gold car's making, takes the win with a 5.69 through into the semi-finals. Well, in this race you could see the quicker reaction time from Kilpalainen, but the car not as quick over the first half of the track, certainly makes up for it in the second half. Well, this is going to be a real interesting race. The championship is at stake for this one, and it's Great Britain's Dave Wilson with the Nemesis car, who qualified in at number 4. That must have been a little disappointing, but of course he's racing this man, the number 5 qualifier, Peter Schürfer from Germany. We know all about Peter with that enormous supercharger on that small block Chevrolet engine. Makes an awful lot of horsepower, makes an awful lot of noise too. This is going to be a goodie. Both cars in pre-stage. Well, nobody moving. Dave Wilson edges in. Peter Schürfer follows him. And the green, well, anybody at this point. Surely this is where Wilson makes a move indeed. Peter Schürfer drops off. Dave Wilson takes the win through into the semi-final. That was shaping up to be a great race, but something happening to Peter at half track. You can see the red car slows off, but Dave Wilson doesn't know, going through to take the win with a 5.82 second run. Number 7 qualifier, Doug Bond with the Shell Sport car, always a game competitor, but importantly, Russ, this is Jarmo Roivas in the first round of eliminations.
Dave Wilson will be watching this race with intent, because if Jarmo loses, Dave Wilson, if he gets to the final, could take the championship. If Jarmo wins this race, he'll clinch the series.
Well, he can't afford to make any mistakes here on the start line. Doug Bond, a seasoned campaigner. Both cars in pre-stage. Dougie Bond rolls forward. Jarmo goes into the green. You'd expect Jarmo to be out ahead. And indeed, that's exactly what's happening. Powers it through, takes the win with a 5.78. Russ, I would imagine there's quite a lot of relief in the Roivas camp after that win.
Well, he is the FIA European Top Methanol Dragster champion.
Well, all congratulations to the team from Finland. And they wrest away the championship from Peter Beck, who appears in our final pairing, racing this man, a relative unknown to us, and that is Kim Jørgensen. Well, I don't envy him racing in this first round, one of the quickest men of Europe. And of course, I'm talking about Switzerland's Peter Beck, the number 3 qualifier.
Well, Peter hasn't had a good season at all after taking the championship last year. He won at Santipod in the first round, but then it's gone downhill ever since.
Well, the revs go up on the Beck car at the green line. Well, Beck looks to be behind at this point. And Jørgensen gave him a race to half track, but the power there, the tuning in that car shows at the end. Well, you can see that Jørgensen was the first man out the hole, a quicker reaction time, and that will of course Peter Beck some concern. He'll have had a good view of the black and red car until the finish line. That sets up our 2 semi-finals. Eero Kilpalainen and the Dark Horse and Dave Wilson, Jarmo Roivas, new champion, and Peter Beck. Take a look at this, one of our exhibition vehicles put on specially for the spectators. And have you ever seen a Mustang like this in your life before? Jet-powered, Martin Hill cloaked in that carbon fibre Ford Mustang body, Westinghouse J34 engine, and does he make good use of the afterburner on that car? You bet your life he does. Shooting flame out like a cannon report. And everybody, apart from the staff in race control, absolutely love this car. Take a look at that. Wow, scorching down the Sandpot quarter mile. Fantastic. The first of our semi-finals, an all-Quaker State affair, the Fat Attack Firebird of Urs Erbacher, the Quaker State Express Camaro of Michael Kagarad. This is an important race, but let me tell you, Russ, Erbacher is in a rich vein of form.
He certainly is, but I still think Michael will take this win. He's got to take this win, otherwise he's going to be living on his nerves as Leif Andreasen goes out in the next semi.
Right you are, takes it out of his hands. Here we go, both cars in free stage. The revs come off, the Camaro into stage. Wow, the Firebird follows him in, and the green, nothing to choose. But look at this, Erbacher is away. There's no catching him this weekend. And even champion-elect Michael Kagarad back into the trailer with that car. You can see even a quicker reaction time, another 5.
Big upset there, but I think Erbacher did hold Kagarad a little bit on the line, similar to Leif Andreasen doing the same thing to him in Norway.
Well, Michael must be getting used to it by now. This is going to be a good race. Leif Andreasen knows what he has to do now if he's going to stay in the running. He's got to beat this man, Leif Helander, with the red, white and blue Saab, where you can see a very partisan crowd, and they're all very keen to know how the championship's going to turn out, right down to the wire. Andreasen with the Komatsu Tools car, the Starcotter Saab of Leif Helander, first into pre-stage. Andreasen follows him in, well, and doesn't waste any time into full stage. Both cars stage on the green, nothing to choose between them at half track. What a great race. You can see though, Helander slows. Andreasen had to take the win and dutifully does so through into the final. Well, Helander was right there, a quicker reaction time away from the start. Something braking on the car, obviously at half track, slows down Andreasen there into the final. Well, that sets up that final. Leif Andreasen has to take the win against Urs Erbacher. Miki Kagarad has to sweat it out. Take a look at this drama from one of the few funny car races over the weekend. John Spuffard takes the win. Gordy Smith, you can see a small explosion, but watch this. Whoa, the fuel tank explodes on that car. John Spuffard right in that carbon fibre body, and you can see a big lump of bodywork. Look how quickly the driver exits through that hatch. You can see the heat haze rising, but for John Spuffard, that's all in a day's work. Take a look at that. Is it hot out there or what, John? The fire crews very quickly on the scene, and John was A-OK. Back to the drama of our top methanol dragster. Semi-finals, Peter Beck and Jarmo Roivas. This is going to be quite a race.
Well, Beck is last year's champion and Roivas is this year's champion. I say Beck has not been on form this year, but it'll be interesting to see who can win heads up.
Well, Jarmo's had a horrible weekend. Missing magnetos for the car meant that it wasn't until the final session that he managed to qualify near the top of the pack. In fact, ending up as the number 2 qualifier behind Kilpalainen. So lots depending on this. Has Jarmo Roivas got the form back? Can Peter Beck steal the show from him? Here are the finals. Both cars roll into stage, waiting for Beck. Beck rolls it in, and the green one. Beck looks to be away first, but Jarmo Roivas powers past him at half track. The champion takes the win through into the final.
Good reaction by Beck at the lights. He beats Roivas away, but again his motor lets him down.
Well, I get the feeling that Peter Beck and team are down at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to engine parts. Been a hard year for the top methanol dragsters. This then, our second semi-final. For Great Britain, Dave Wilson. And the man who's a definite rising star, Russ, Eero Kilpalainen.
Methanol racing is getting very competitive. More cars coming into the series. Bodes very well for next year.
Well, of course, the championship decided this is going to be for glory. Dave Wilson would dearly like to race Jarmo Rivas in the final. Kilpalainen, though, is the form man. Both those cars roll forward into stage together. On the green, Dave Wilson out ahead by a car's length. Well, Jarmo seems to be asleep on the line, stays with him all the way. Dave Wilson takes the win. Let's look at reaction times. Well, you can see a 0.57. Almost 0.2 of a second given to the Briton. You can see Kilpalainen with the quicker time. Too slow on the day. Wilson through into the final. Well, there he's going to meet Jarmo Rivas, the man who is champion. That's going to be a good race.
Drag racing's been around for over 60 years. It's a fast and furious sport, certainly not one for the faint-hearted. Nevertheless, if you feel like travelling at speeds of over 200 miles an hour in around 4.5 seconds isn't for you, fear not, because you can still bring your own car down to the Santapod Raceway so long as you have a driver's licence and an MOT certificate, where you can kiss goodbye regular speeds and test your own car to its limit.
Well, not only cars here at the European finals, this the final on two wheels of FIM Fuel Harley-Davidson. Per Benson and Rob van Geffen. Just listen to the noise these nitro burners make. Absolutely earth-shattering. Rob van Geffen has problems. Per Benson takes the win with a 6.83 second run over 200 miles per hour. He's a happy boy.
Well, that also makes Bengtsson the Harley Twin Super Twin champion of 1999. So he's going to be a happy man.
Well, indeed, we look forward to more two-wheel action in 2000.
It was very close in the beginning.
Yeah.
But after 200 meters I left him, and then I didn't see him. And I think he got some problem.
Michael Kagerad. All he can do is stand and wait and watch the final of Top Methanol Funny Car to see if Leif Andreasen can take this final win that will make him the champion.
Leif, a win in the final would give you the championship.
Yeah, we think we have the power. Urs is running real hard also. He just put a 593, and we know that we have power to run even faster than that, and we put all the power on the car that we can use now, and hopefully we're going to run for it. I don't know.
Well, let's not forget, up against the in-form man from Switzerland, Urs Erbacher.
The heat's on this race. It's not just the final, it's a final for Urs Erbacher to win her at Santapod. More importantly, it is the championship for Leif Andreasen. My opinion is Leif can win it, but nerves will take a large part of this race. If Leif can keep his nerve, keep his cool, cut a good light, he may take the whole lot. But Urs Erbacher is in his element on this track. That's going to be a real close race. At the moment, I have to just say, if Leif Andreasen keeps his cool, he'll win.
Well, I think Keith has summed it up there. The pressure is so much on Leif that he could make a mistake at the lights or just err on the side of caution. Urs has got nothing to lose. He'll go for it.
While both cars roll forward to the line, I'm sure Andreasen knows how much depends on this. Both in pre-stage, the revs go up on the funny cars. Who got Andreasen in? Erbacher follows him on the green. Well, looks to be Erbacher ahead at this point. Very close race. Andreasen, no, Urs Erbacher.
What a race, what a race. Kagerad is the champion. Michael Kagerad is the funny car champion for 99.
Well, that 47 reaction time for Urs Erbacher really did it. You could see a slower time, but stayed out ahead of Andreasen all the way down the quarter mile.
But how close is that at the end, Graham? Drag racing at its best.
Leif, a big disappointment.
Oh, it's not actually so big. I mean, everything, the whole season have been so tight. We've been running good, but at the same time, I mean, it's hard to lose, but it was so close.
The final placings in the championship, Michael Kagerad by just 5 points from countryman Andreasen, Helander and Erbacher 3 and 4.
Now, Michael, you had to sit on the sidelines and wait to see how it unfolded. How did it feel?
I was very nervous, and I couldn't do anything about it, so I was very nervous.
So what went wrong in the semi-finals?
We shook tires, front tires, so I had to lift, and Ursi did a very good time, so we couldn't beat him.
So in the final, Leif had to win. Did you have a word with Urs and say, listen, mate, you've got to help me here?
Yeah, I spoke to him and a little bit, but yeah, I said to him, you had to win now, and he did that.
We go into our final in top methanol tracks. The championship is already decided. Jarmo Roivas, the champion for 1999. But this is going to be for Dave Wilson's honour. The Nemesis car burning out, and this has to be one of the biggest moments in Dave Wilson's long top methanol dragster career.
I think Dave Wilson could really take this race. It's his home track, he knows it, and they'll go all out in this last race.
Well, Dave Wilson here has already secured second place by getting through to this final, but he'll want to show a sign of intent by beating Roivas to show that next year the championship could be his.
Well, it would be nice to see a reverse for the year 2000. Numbers 1 and 2 men in the championship coming up to fight it out for this final. Both cars in pre-stage. The Cat car is second in the stage at the green. Well, no quarter asked for and none given. Dave Wilson clicks it off. The chute comes out. Jarmo takes the winner, 5.79. That would have been hard to get round.
Well, Jarmo's chutes opened at the right time, but Wilson's didn't. I've never seen that before.
Well, I think the tyre shake on the car so bad away from the start line. Take a look at the way the car's moving here. I don't think Dave could see where he was going either. Had to come out the throttle. The chute's shaken out. By that time, when Dave could see, Roivas was over the finish line.
But interestingly, a quicker time off the lights for Wilson. Could have won it.
Very great feeling. I'm happy, yeah. Very hard summer, and special thanks to my team. He worked excellent, and that's nice. Very nice.
Well, the championship finishes up, as we said, numbers 1 and 2, Roivas and Wilson. Peter Beck third this year. Watch Kilpalainen next year.
So another excellent year of methanol drag racing, and well done to Jarmo Roivas, who becomes our drag